God exists. The man with IQ 276 proves it. Stop right there. I mean it. Whatever you're thinking about right now, let it go for a second. Because I'm about to show you something that might shake everything you thought you knew. Not with emotion, not with persuasion, with logic. Picture this. You're sitting in a coffee shop. Someone walks in and sits down across from you. No preacher, no pastor, no guy with a Bible under his arm, just the human being with the highest measured IQ on planet Earth. He looks at you, and he says quietly, "God exists. I can prove it." Not through faith, through mathematics. What if this isn't a question of belief at all, but a simple equation? What would you say? Honestly, I would have laughed. Until I heard his 3 arguments, and suddenly, nothing was as simple as it used to be. Some people call this first cause God. Others call it the universe. The source, the creative force, the highest self. The name is different. What it points to is the same. Today, we're going to look at what the math actually says. His name is Young-hoon Brian Kim, and this is his story. Stay with me. This one will stay with you. And welcome to Spirit of Vivo. Okay, before we dive in, you need to understand who is saying this. Young-hoon Brian Kim has a measured IQ of 276. Let that sink in for a moment. Einstein, 160. Stephen Hawking, 160. Isaac Newton, an estimated 190. Kim, 276. Officially recognized by the World Memory Championships, one of the most prestigious institutions in the world for measuring peak cognitive performance. He's a #1 best-selling author on Amazon. The founder of a movement dedicated to one single question: can the origin of everything be proven? And here's what fascinates me most about him. He's not the first to try. Blaise Pascal, mathematician, physicist, genius of the 17th century, said it plainly: "A universe without a first mover simply makes no sense." And Albert Einstein, not a religious man in the traditional sense, spent his entire life talking about what he called a cosmic religious experience. A sense of awe at the order of the universe that he could only describe as spiritual. Brilliant minds, different words. The same feeling. Kim is the latest in that line. And he brought equations. I want to show you a picture. The simplest picture you can imagine. Picture a blank white piece of paper. Now pick up a pen. You want to draw a line. Before that line can exist, what do you need? A point. One single first point. Without that point, no line, no beginning. Now think about it. What is the universe, if not an unimaginably long line? From the moment of creation all the way to, right now, 13.8 billion years. Physics calls that first point the Big Bang. The moment when everything, space, time, matter, energy, exploded into existence from a single, unimaginably small point. Everything, from one point. But here, right here, is where it gets interesting. Even the smartest physicists in the world hit a wall when you ask them, what came before the point? Roger Penrose, Nobel Prize winner in physics, openly admits, the Big Bang alone doesn't explain everything. Something is missing from the equation. Kim says, what's missing isn't a formula, it's a decision, a will, an intelligence, something or someone that stands outside of space and time and at a specific moment said, now. Some call that first mover God. Others call it the source, the universe, creative intelligence. It doesn't matter which word you choose. The question stays the same. Who picked up the pen? I want you to picture something. You're standing on a street. You want to walk home, 10 blocks away. Easy. 100 blocks. Exhausting, but doable. Now imagine, your home is infinitely far away. There's no distance you could ever cover because the road never ends. Could you ever get there? No, never. And that's exactly the problem with a universe that has no beginning. If the past stretched back infinitely, if there was no first second, no first moment, you could never have arrived at today, because you would have had to cross an infinite stretch of time to get here. But you are here, right now, in this moment. That's not religion. That's pure, clean logic. And now here's the part that genuinely moves me. People all over the world, in the deserts of Africa, in the mountains of Asia, in the rainforests of South America, in the cities of Europe, independently of each other, across thousands of years, describe the exact same thing. A force that stands above time, that is not trapped inside it. Christians call it the eternal God. Buddhists speak of timeless awareness. Taoists call it the Tao, the origin that existed before all time. Modern spiritual seekers speak of the source that always was and always will be. Different cultures, different centuries, different words, the same experience. Kim translated that experience into an equation. And the equation says, a timeless cause isn't just possible, it's necessary. Stay with me. This is the shortest argument, and maybe the most powerful. Take the number 1, multiply it by itself. 1 times 1, 1. Again, 1. Over and over. Still 1, without a new number, without an outside force. Absolutely nothing changes. Now think about the universe. Before the beginning, nothing. No matter, no energy, no time, nothing. And then, everything. 13.8 billion years of expansion. Galaxies, solar systems, oceans, roses, music, love, consciousness. That is not a 1 times 1 story. Something entered from outside, a force greater than the entire system itself. Picture yourself standing outside on a clear night. That's not just a scientific question. That is the spiritual question of humanity. The one people have been asking since the very first moment they looked up at the night sky. Kim gives it a mathematical answer. There must be a source greater than anything we can see. Some call it God. Others call it the highest self, the creative force, the universe itself. Whatever your word is, the math says it exists. Let me bring it all together. 3 arguments, 3 truths. First, every line needs a first point. The universe has a first moment. Something or someone set that point. Second, an infinite past is logically impossible. Time had a beginning. Something stands outside of time. Third, nothing never becomes something. Energy needs a source. That source is greater than anything we know. What is the only explanation that fits all 3? Timeless, all-powerful, conscious. That is the logical conclusion of the man with the highest measured IQ on Earth. And here's the moment that gets me every single time. This description, timeless, all-powerful, conscious, appears in every major spiritual tradition in the world. In Christianity, in Islam, in Buddhism, in Hinduism, in the indigenous traditions of every continent. Different names, different stories, different rituals, but the same description of the origin. Maybe all of these paths point to the same source. Maybe humanity has always known this, and maybe it took someone with an IQ of 276 to put it into numbers. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to tell you which word to use. But I will tell you this, and I mean it with everything I've got. You didn't stumble onto this podcast by accident. Something brought you here. Maybe curiosity. Maybe a question that's been sitting with you for a while. Maybe just a feeling that there has to be something more. Listen to that feeling. Tonight, when it's quiet, when the phone is off, when no one needs anything from you, ask yourself one question. What was before the point? And then wait for the answer. Not in a point, not in a formula, but in the stillness that comes when you stop searching and start listening. That's the moment Kim is talking about. That's the moment people all over the world have known for thousands of years, no matter what you call it. This is Spirita Vivo, where spirituality grows up with you. If this conversation met you where you are tonight, I'm grateful you're here. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next episode.